The open Fisher calls Falcons. It's not time to meet the start conference games sponsored by Hooters Slice, the official post-game spot of your Falcons. First, let's introduce the University of UMFK. Leading off, number 26, second baseman, Hayu Ota. Batting second, number 7, the center fielder, Brandon Erb. Batting third, the catcher, number 17, Seth Warren. Batting fourth, the left fielder, number 22, Andre Narvala. Batting fifth, the right fielder, number 3, Caleb Martinez. Batting sixth, the designated hitter, number 10, Bradley Storm. Batting seventh, the first baseman, number 13, Eric Gold. Batting eighth, the third baseman, number 2, Emilio Lamanza. And batting ninth, the shortstop, number 1, Josh Brand. On the mound for the Bengals is number 11, Vincent Palazzolo. University of Fort Cannon is coached by Elton Parks. They now time for the start line for your Fisher Falcons. Will lead off playing second base, number 2, Armando Torres. Batting second, the right fielder, number 12, John Bautista. Batting third, the shortstop, number 7, Moses Furberday. Batting fourth, the first baseman, number 57, Yadiel Salinas. Batting fifth, the third baseman, number 11, Daniel Barata. Batting sixth, the designated hitter, number 22, Kevin Cancel. Batting seventh, the center fielder, number 16, Angel Police. Batting eighth, the left fielder, number 23, Israel Coelho. And batting ninth, the catcher, number 9, Fernando Jordan. On the mound for your Falcons, number 34, Gael Guajardo. Head coach for the Falcons in his 25th season is Scott Little. The national anthem provides student athletes and fans an important and time-honored opportunity to honor our country and recognize its principles. The AAI asks that you now stand if able. Please remove your caps as you pay our respect to America through the playing of our national anthem.
Fraser Field in Lynn, Mass. This is Fisher Baseball here on LSP. Today, game one of a doubleheader and a three-game weekend set between the Fisher Falcons with a record of 4-11 and the UMaine Fort Kent Bengals with a record of 2-10. It is still technically morning, so good morning, everybody. Sam Feely here with you, ready to bring you the play-by-play story. Falcons host a first-year program in UMFK. As I mentioned, 2-10 on the year. They've lost 8 in a row. They're searching for their first win since a win over Great Bay Community College back in the fall. You play out there in the sticks in northern Maine. You got to get your fall ball in, and that was a 12-2 win over Great Bay on September 27th, splitting a doubleheader with them. They have not won a game in 2026. To be fair, though, they have only played 2 of them, one against Southern Maine, an 8-5 loss on March 8th, and an 11-7 loss to John Melvin on March 18th. But here they are back up north to take on the Falcons. 4-11 on the year are the hosts. And they are coming off a doubleheader sweep of Florida National on a week ago today. 16-9 and 12-7 were the finals of those games. That snapped a 8-game losing streak by the Falcons. Hiu Ota, the second baseman, will lead things off for the Bengals in the dark gray uniforms. Fisher in the white with the navy blue pinstripes. First pitch coming at you. 11:59, swung on, popped up behind home plate, and tracking it, and it'll just get into the screen just barely out of the reach of the Fisher catcher, Fernando Verde. Starting 9 for UMFK is Ota at second, Brandon Erb in center, Seth Walker behind the plate, Andre Carvalho in left, Caleb Martinez in right, Bradley Stoner is the DH, Eric Kohler is at first, Amadeo Lamenza is at third, and Josh Frando rounds out the lineup at short, and we'll give you the numbers on their starting pitcher, Vinny Palazzo, in just a little bit. 1-1 is the count to Ota. And the Japanese national takes a strike. 1-2. Yadiel Cuadrado getting the start on the mound today for the Falcons. Ota checks his swing, appeal down to first, and he did not go, so it is ball 2. A reprieve there for Ota. So he's still in it at 2-2. Cuadrado, the senior lefty out of Puerto Rico, now running it to a full count, 3-2. Cuadrado on the year, he's making his 5th appearance, all starts. He is 0-2 with a 5.40 ERA. This one is grounded to third. Nice diving stop, but in foul territory. So we'll do it again at 3-2. Third baseman Daniel Peralta laying out there. Can't knock the hustle. So 3-2 once again from Cuadrado to Ota. Time called before the pitch is delivered by the catcher Verde. Cuadrado comes set. 3-2 once again. Up and away for ball 4, and the Bengals have the leadoff man aboard. Here's Brandon Erb, the center fielder. Now, there are no stats available for the Bengals on their website, so mad apologies. We're looking to learn so much about these players this year, but I'll tell you that's not all freshmen. And these players come from all over the world, actually. We got Oda from Japan. He bluffs off of first. Have a couple players from Canada, one even from Australia, and then of all the towns in America to have 2 players on the University of Maine at Fort Kent, they have 2 players from Grants Pass, Oregon. Check on the runner at first, and back standing is Oda. So lefty-on-lefty matchup here with Herb against Quadrado. The defense behind Quadrado, left to right in the outfield, is Cuello Feliz and John Batista. Yes, that John Batista, if you've watched Blue Sox and Intercity League action on this here YouTube channel before. He of the home run that caused me to morph into Dave Batista for a few seconds. The Batista bomb. That is outside 3-1. The 2023 ICL Championship Series against the Expos. That ball is still hasn't come down. Anyways, that's the outfield. Here's the 3-1. That's in there for a strike. So second consecutive full count here for Quadrado. Third to first in the infield is Peralta, Febrier, Torres, and Salinas, with Verde catching Quadrado. Time is called by Herb. 3-2 the count for the second consecutive batter to start the game. Runner on first is Oda after the leadoff walk. And here's the pitch. That bounces to the plate and ricochets into the screen. That'll stop play, and Oda's still running to third, and he's going to be directed back to second, but it is a second consecutive walk to begin the game for Quadrado. Here's Seth Walker, the catcher. Walker's out of Stayner, Ontario. Showing bunt with the number 3 hitter, whatever it takes to manufacture a run, right? It is 1-0. In the turf or the dirt, as it were. Throw down to first to try and catch Herb napping, but he's back safely. And now a hitter's count here for Walker at 2-0 and 2 runners on. And Verde is going to come out to the mound to have a word with Quadrado. Peralta wondering if he should get in on this too, as are Febrier and Torres. But just needed to hear a good word from Verde, and we'll get back to work. Quadrado's last appearance was on March 13th. Took the loss in that 5-4 game against Florida National. Went 5 innings. Allowed 4 runs on 3 hits. Only one of those runs was earned, but walked 5. Count is 3-1 now. He walked 7 in his season debut against West Virginia Tech. And that's why you never, ever take a step towards first before you get the umpire's call. It is a full count for the third consecutive batter to begin the ball game. Obviously not a good sign for Quadrado's pitch count. 3-2. Swung on, driven to left center field, camping under it and making the catch. And firing back into the infield is Feliz. So an important first out there for Quadrado, and now he can get out of this with a simple ground ball. Here's Andre Carvalho, left fielder, listed as a catcher on the roster. He's a sophomore out of Sao Paulo, Brazil. Chopper to the left side. Foul for strike one. The Brazilian WBC team had quite the assortment of names on it. You had Dante Bichette Jr., you had the son of Manny Ramirez, you had Jose Contreras' son, who's 17 years old, and he actually had a pretty good showing in his time on the world stage. Then you had a player who had to take PTO to play in the tournament from his construction job. One and one is the count with one out and two on here in the top of the first between Fisher and Fort Kent. That's at the knees for a strike, and it is 1-2. On deck is the right fielder, Caleb Martinez. One, two. Down and in. And they'll throw to third to get Ito, and he's safe. Ota, rather. Sorry. Hio Ota. In the dirt, wild pitch allows the runners to advance. Actually, Herb was taking off for second before Ota did. Sorry. Before Ota did, and well, there might have been a logjam at second for a moment, then Ota took off. Here's a chopper at the plate that'll roll foul, and it'll remain 2-2. So you got Ota at third and Herb at second. One out after Walker flew out to center. Carvalho could bring in two with a base hit. Now wild pitch key because it takes the double play out of the equation. Up and away, good snag by Verde, but it is a full count again. Four batters, four full counts for Quadrado to work with. What's he going to do here? A walk would at least put the double play in order, but obviously loading the bases with one out in the first is a big no-no. This will be lined the other way, throw it to right for a base hit. Oh, he ran through the stop sign. Here comes the one-hop throw that will not be in time. Both Ota and Herb score on the two-run single by Carvalho, and it is 2-0 Bengals. Caleb Martinez, the right fielder, takes a ball. It is 1-0. So Carvalho gets his afternoon off to a good start. We're playing two 7-inning games today. This is game one of a doubleheader. This is originally going to be two doubleheaders this weekend. That swung on and missed for strike one. This is originally going to be two doubleheaders this weekend. One today, obviously, and one tomorrow. And the forecast tomorrow aside, the second game got postponed due to the travel needs of UMFK, because if you're looking at like a 2 or 3 o'clock first pitch for that second game, do y'all realize how long the drive is from Lynn, Mass to Fort Kent, Maine? It is right up against the Quebec border. Bon après-midi, mesdames et messieurs. It is 2-2. I'm still in junior hockey mode. Quadrado with a look at first. Runner goes, pitch is swung on and missed for strike three. Throw down to second is not in time. Nearly oversliding the bag was Carvalho, but Martinez is down on strikes for the second out, but another runner in scoring position for Fort Kent. First strikeout of the game for Quadrado. We'll see if Bradley Stoner, the designated hitter, can cash in. Swing and a miss for strike one. Season high in strikeouts in a game for Cuadrado is 6, which he set in the 5-4 loss to Florida National. This is flared down the right field line and slicing foul and out of play. It'll be 0-2 to the Bengals DH with Carvalho at second. Stoner's a sophomore out of Keswick, Ontario, and good morning, good afternoon, and good night. Bradley Stoner, side retired, but not before the Bengals pick up 2 runs on 1 hit and leave 1 in scoring position. Half inning in the books, Bengals 2, Falcons coming up. LSP and Shipping Shield are partners in card. Shipping Shields are the eco-friendly sports and gaming card shipping protectors trusted by yours truly. Use the link and codes on the screen or in the description for a discount on your order. We may receive a commission from your order, but we thank you for your continued support of whatever this is. Vincent Palazzo gets the start on the bump for the UMaine Fort Kent Bengals. He is one of the 3 elder statesmen on this first-year Bengals squad. He's one of 3 juniors on the roster, along with Oda, the second baseman, being one of them. And Fisher to bat for the first time, already down 2-0, but let's see what Mr. Palazzo can do with the early lead. Armando Torres to lead things off in the bottom of the first for the Falcons, to be followed by John Batista. He's at second. John Batista in right. Moises Febrier at short. Yariel Salinas at first. Daniel Peralta at third. Kevin Cancel is the DH. Angel Feliz is in center. Hadriel Cuello is in left. And Fernando Verde rounds out the lineup in behind the plate, rather. And that is up and away for ball 1 to Armando Torres, the Falcons' second baseman. Torres is a senior out of Vega Baja, Puerto Rico. Stomping grounds of one Bad Bunny. This will be chopped up the middle and past the diving shortstop, Fernando, into center field for a base hit. So the leadoff man aboard for the Falcons. That'll up Torres' average on the year of 308. And he is a speed demon. He's got 14 steals on the year in 15 games. And if he's not going to run himself home, John Batista may do it for him, knowing his power. They might have him picked off. Now they got him in a hot box. It was nearly airmailed into left field, but was bailed out, backed up, and they got him. Well, I'll get the scoring of that, and then I'll play it on Powerball tonight. But tough break there for the Falcons to get the leadoff man on with a base hit, and then he is picked off. At any rate, 1-3-6-3-4 is the scoring of the pickoff, as that is outside for a ball. Batista, Lawrence High product. Has 5 home runs on the year and 6 home runs and 17 ribbies on the year. Also got 4 steals at a .333 average. And now he's ahead 2-0. He's got a very good eye. And a very good player in the Intercity League as well. ICL champion with the Andre Chiefs. And probably the right thing to do against him. He takes a 4-pitch walk. So that'll replace Torres at first, 1 on with 1 out. Moises Febrier will saddle himself into the batter's box. The junior shortstop out of San Cristobal, Dominican Republic. Outside, 5 consecutive balls now thrown by Palazzo. Febrier heading .323 with 2 homers and 9 RBIs in 11 games thus far. Wind blowing out towards right. Batista takes off, pitches a strike, throw is offline to the right side, and a stolen base for John Batista. He's in scoring position with a 1-1 count to the number 3 hitter, Febrier. Might be the right approach today if the wind's going to be blowing out to right, but too far behind that one. And it's fouling out a play for strike 2. 1-2 is a count to Febrier. With Salinas on deck. Grounded to the right side, scooped up at second by Oda and on to first. Gets Batista to third, but with 2 down now. Yariel Salinas fouls this one off for strike 1, the senior out of San Juan. 162 in 13 games this year, 1 homer and 9 ribbies. Down away for a ball, it is 1-1. Line down the left field line. That's in for a base hit. Into scores Batista. On his way to second is Salinas, losing the helmet as he slides into second with an RBI double. Daniel Peralta, the third baseman, with a runner in scoring position, hoping to tie the game with a base hit, and he comes up empty for strike 1. The ball got away from the catcher Walker, but he found it in time before Salinas could do anything. RBI number 10 on the year for Yariel. 0-1 is the count to the Fisher third baseman, Peralta. Outside. Count will be 1-1. Peralta, sophomore out of Dunedin, Florida. Transfer from St. Petersburg College, 341 on the year. Lines this one the other way and a right for a base hit. Being waved around third is Peralta. The relay will not be in time, and this game is tied. Salinas scores the tying run. Peralta with an RBI single. And Kevin Cancel, the designated hitter, will step to the plate. So back-to-back two-out hits have tied this game for the Falcons. Peralta with the RBI single following Salinas' RBI double. Swing and a miss. Boy, there's one thing on the Falcons hitter's mind right now. Oh and 1 is the count. 0-2. Cancel, freshman out of Alta, Puerto Rico. 250 average with 4 ribbies in 9 games this year. Boink. That hit him? Oh. So it's not just a wild pitch. It's not a wild pitch at all. It actually hit Cancel. Peralta had a perfect read of it, but that is a tough break for Palazzo to be one strike out of this one. One strike away from being out of this one. And then plunking Cancel on the 0-2, and now it's Feliz, the center fielder. And that hit him. Boy. I mean, forget being one strike away from getting out of the game tied. He was 1 out away from a scoreless bottom of the first. But now back-to-back plunkings of Cancel and Feliz have loaded the bases for the left fielder Cuello. Feliz, a junior out of Santo Domingo, reaches base, and that'll be a first pitch strike, 0-1. Feliz 275 with 11 ribbies, 2 homers, and 11 runs scored. And now Cuello takes on the outside edge, and it'll be 0-2, but we know what happened the last time Palazzo got to 0-2. Peralta at third, Cancel at second, Feliz at first. Big pitch here, and that is fouled away. Remain 0-2. Cuello 171 in 14 games this year for the sophomore from Santo Domingo. 1 homer, 6 ribbies, and comes up empty, going fishing at the pitch. Down and away for the out that retires the side. But the Falcons tie the game 2 runs on 2 hits, but they leave 2 runs, 3 hits rather, but they leave the bases loaded, and we are back to where we started after 1. Advertising opportunities are available on LSP. Sponsor our content for as little as $25 a spot, whether you want to promote a business, product, or event, or send a message of support to a player, team, or coach. Email yours truly for all the deets. We'll go to the top of the second. And the bottom third of the order due up for the Bengals in Kohler, Lamenza, and Fernando. Quadrado back out there for his second inning of work after that laborious top of the first, though the same could be said for Palazzo's bottom of the first. Kohler is a freshman out of Sierra Vista, Arizona. He's a business management major up at Fort Kent, and they'll appeal down to first. He did not go on that swing, and it is ball one. Two and 0, another hitter's count here. That's on the outer edge for a strike, and the count will be 2-1. We do appreciate everyone tuning in. Feel free to join the chat if you want to root on your favorite player. Got any questions for yours truly about what I do with my copious free time? Maybe you have a question or something for AP over here. He wasn't expecting that. Neither was Eric Kohler. Third consecutive strikeout now for Quadrado, dating back to his K of Martinez for the second out of the first. Here's the third baseman, Amadeo Lamenza. Another swing and a miss. 0-1. 2 runs on 1 hit so far for Fort Kent. 2 on 3 for Fisher. Neither side has committed an error. And it's downstairs for a ball. It is 1-1. One and two. Fouled off of the dish, he'll stay alive. Swing and a miss and a pitch outside. 4 consecutive strikeouts now. All swinging. Two up, 2 down. And it'll be up to Ferrando to keep the line moving. Grounder to the left side, backhanded at short by Febrier on to first. Oh, he's safe. He is safe. Throw looked to be in time, but a bit of a bobble by Salinas allows Ferrando to reach and keep the inning going. Hio Ota will step back into the box for the second time, led off the ball game with a walk and came around to score the first of 2 runs on the single by Carvalho. One and 0's the count. Swing and a miss. Lean into it. 1-1. Runner goes. Ota trying to butt his way on, and ooh, that's going to be an interesting situation here. Verde arguing for interference. And I would also, if he's not going to get that, I would also argue for a strike on Ota. I thought he went around there on the bunt attempt. But 2-1 is the count. A stolen base for Ferrando. And the go-ahead run in scoring position now for the Bengals as Ota Ahead in the count, 2-1. That's under the hands, and it is 3-1. And you have Herb on deck. Swing and a miss. At what point do you just lean into that one, right? Payoff pitch forthcoming with Ferrando at second. Here it is. Fouled off. Payoff pitch once again. Here it is. Fouled off again. Good battle here by Oda as the go-ahead run in scoring possession here in the top of the second. Just the one hit, though, in this game. That was Carvalho's two-run single for Fort Kent, that is. Inside corner, strike three called. Oh, boy. Oda turned away from that one, thinking it was going to get him, and got the bad news on the front doorstep. Side retired. Striking out the side, in fact, is Quadrado. He's got 5 Ks. Each of the last 5 Fort Kent outs has been by way of the K, and after a $1.50, still 2-2. The LSP store is open. Get yourself a DVD copy or digital copy of most past LSP video broadcasts, or one of several different designs of stickers, shirts, or other merch. You can find the LSP Spring Store by scanning the QR code on the screen right now, or you can email yours truly for game videos. Bottom of the second, and it'll be Verde, Torres, and Batista due up for the Falcons. Verde takes outside from Palazzo for ball 1. Junior out of Miami. 273 with 4 ribbies in 9 games this year. And he's heading the count 2-0. Verde has 4 walks this year. Fouls us off the other way, 2-1. 6 walks and 4 hits. 4 walks and 6 hits, rather. Actually has a, right now, career high in on-base percentage at .407. That's grounded to third. Throw is up the line, goes into foul territory. Verde stumbled, and he's had 2 beeves with the umpires in 2 consecutive plate appearances. Oda's and then his own. But he reaches And the courtesy runner now for the catcher will be Adrian Colon. Here's Torres. Led off the bottom of the first with a single, but was picked off 1-3-6-3-4 for those of you looking to play your numbers. Two and two in the bottom of the second. Runner on first. Bunt shown, and that is outside for ball one. Colon, the courtesy runner for Verde at first after Verde reached on the error. 2 runs, 1 hit, 1 error for Fort Kent. 2-3-1 for the Falcons. Runner goes, pitches down and away. Throw will 1 hop to second and not nearly be in time. Colon has a steal. 2-1 is the count. Colon's first steal of the year. Runner goes, pitch is skied into shallow right center, and it will be dropped. Colon makes the wise decision to not to go back to third, try to go back to third anyways. So 2 errors in the inning. That is a bright sun you're looking up into at second base, drifting into shallow right if you're Oda. And back-to-back runners reaching, back-to-backers reaching by way of errors for the Falcons. And here is John Batista, 0-1. Batista walked, stole a base, and scored last inning. One and one. AP, where are the dimensions here? Do you know? Towering fly ball into right. That'll be caught. Tagging from second is Colon. Throw will be cut off. Runners at the corners with 1 down. Well, obviously not the outcome Batista wanted. Does get a runner 90 feet away, though, in Colon, and here's Febrier. Ground out to second his first time up, but a grounder to second here may spell the end of the inning. Palazzo comes set, and the pitch. Down away, gets away from the catcher, Walker. Holding at third, though, is Colon. Wise decision there. Going to second, though, is Torres. 1-0 is the count to Febrier. 2-0 is the count to Febrier. Just high. That takes a double play out of the equation. So a base hit should give Fisher their first lead. That'll be up and in, 3-0. We have Febrier with a 3-0 count and a base open with 1 down. Remember, Salinas had the RBI double his last time up. A 4-pitch walk. Let's also remember that on top of the, aside from the double for Salinas, he's batting 162 on the year entering play today. So the bases are loaded with 1 out Mound Conference here. Whole infield coming in to discuss the plan of attack here. Again, this is a first-year varsity baseball program for UMFK under the guidance of Dalton Parks, who is also UMFK's athletics compliance officer. Oh and 1 is the count to Salinas. Popped up into foul territory, but he'll get out behind that gravel or gravelly snow mound, whatever that is back there. Yeah. I was going to say, like, oh yeah, I can see some snow under all that asphalt. 0-2 is the count to Salinas, and he takes outside for a ball. Reaching for that one and just barely able to foul it off is Salinas. He has Colon at third, Torres at second, and Febrier at first, with one out and a 1-2 count in a tie game. Swing and a miss, strike three. Huge strikeout for Palazzo. Just his second of the game. And now it'll be up to Daniel Peralta. He had a base hit last time up to tie the game. That was the one that plated Salinas after his RBI double. And he grounds this one up the middle, fielded by Oda, flip to second for the out that retires the side. Vincent Palazzo, the amazing Palazzo, does a escape job there to keep this game knotted at 2 after 2. Are you down with a sound called LSP? Of course you are. Then follow and support us on the web. Linktree, Facebook, YouTube. Don't forget to subscribe. Flashy subscribe button. Membership's also available for $5 a month. PayPal, Creator Spring, LSP37. Scan that QR code on the screen for more info. All the cool kids are doing it. We go to the top of the third, and it'll be Herb, Walker, and Carvalho due up against Yadiel Cuadrado. Cuadrado has recorded each of the last 5 outs via the K. And Fisher had the chance to break this game open in the bottom of the second. That's in there for strike one. And the bases loaded with one out. Then Salinas struck out swinging. Peralta on a chopper up the middle. Ended up being a 4-6 fielder's choice. Oda flipping it to Ferrando for the out that retires the side. And that'll That'll be outside for a ball, 1-2, says Michael Lightbody, the home plate umpire, with Bob Bland working the bases. One, two. Out of play. First game of a doubleheader. We'll play 7 innings regulation for both games. And then another meeting between these two teams tomorrow at noon. Swing and a miss. 6 strikeouts now for Quadrado. Quadrado, he's only through 2 1/3 innings. He's already matched his season high, which was his last appearance against Florida National. Swing and a miss. Strike 1 to Seth Walker, who flew out to center his first time up in the first. Did not come back to the front door there, and it is 1-1. Swing and a miss. One and two. Up and away, 2-2. Quadrado, his season high in strikeouts last year was in the season opener on February 7th against Carolina. Strike 3 called. Quadrado has gotten each of his last 7 outs by way of the K. So it'll be up to Carvalho to try and keep the line moving out of that 2-run single back in the first for what is so far the only runs and the only hit of the game for Fort Kent. New season high already in strikeouts for Quadrado, and he gets strike 1 here on Carvalho. Grounder up the middle. Backhanded at second. On to first for the out. Well, glad to know the fielders for the Falcons aren't getting too flat-footed after 7 consecutive Ks by Quadrado. 1, 2, 3 go the Bengals in the top of the third. LSP and Shipping Shield are partners in card. Shipping Shields are the eco-friendly sports and gaming card shipping protectors trusted by yours truly. Made in the U.S. and Canada on 100% recyclable cardboard. Use the link and codes on the screen or in the description for a discount on your order. We may receive a commission from those orders, but we thank you for your continued support of whatever this is. We go to the bottom of the third. And Cancel, Feliz, and Cuello due up for Fisher. 1-0 is the count to Cancelo. Was hit by a pitch back in the first. 2-0. Well, it's a tough spot here for the Fisher offense. They could very easily be running away with this right now, but they've left the bases loaded in each of the first 2 innings. Swing and a miss, 2-1. Cuadrado has found his groove after the tough start to the first. Had what, 5 consecutive full counts to begin the game. But he's struck out 7 consecutive outs by way of the K. He's retired 8 of the last 9. Another hit by pitch. And on another 2-strike count, no less. So Cancel aboard for the second time without the aid of a hit. Here's Feliz, who was hit by a pitch in the first. Was stranded when Cuello struck out to end that inning. Grounds this one to the right side. They'll turn to short for 1. On to first, 1 hop, not in time. So the 4-6 fielder's choice gets Cancel. Feliz reaches. And here's Cuello, hoping to have a better result than his last at-bat, which again was that strikeout to end the bottom of the first while the Falcons had the bases loaded and already tied the game, but we're looking for more. So still just the 1 hit in this game so far for the Bengals. That is down away for a ball. It is 1-0. Runner goes, throw down to second. The pitch is a ball. It is not in time. 2-0 is the count. Runner in scoring position for Cuello. Palazzo has 2 walks and 3 hit batters in this game so far. Towering pop-up on the left side. And it drops in fair territory, and then it bounces foul before it gets to the third base bag. So a reprieve for the Bengals. It bounced in fair territory and then bounced over the third baseline, well short of the third base bag. So that'll be a strike, and it'll be 2-1. Maybe the most dramatic strike in the history of organized baseball. 2-1 is the count to Cuello. Wind has been, for the most part, blowing out towards right today. Well, it's swirling a little bit right now as it's 3-1. So you can understand the ball getting pushed back into fair territory, but lucky for the Bengals, it bounced off the turf hard enough that it carried back over into foul territory. But it's not going to matter now because that is a walk to Cuello, the 3rd walk of the day issued by Palazzo. So first and second, 1 down for the Falcons, and here is Verde, reached on an error his first time up. Wind whipping out towards right field again as that pitch is down and away. Unable to haul that one in with the sprawl is Walker. And that'll be a wild pitch that puts runners at second and third. Infield comes in with the go-ahead run at third, first base open. They're going to try and bunt. Nope, pull back, ground it to second, bobbled there. The run scores. Throw on to first is in time for the out, but in from third comes Feliz to give the Falcons the lead for the first time today. So the G4 off the bat of Verde. Plates Feliz, and the lineup turns over for Torres, and that one is up and in for ball one. Cuello now at third. Grounder up the middle, and that one gets through for a base hit. Cuello scores, second hit of the day for Torres, and the Falcons lead 4-2. Torres has been on base all 3 times today. 2 singles sandwich around an error. And here's Batista, 0 for 1, walk and a stolen base and run scored in the first. Take strike 1, and a fly out to right in the second. Four runs on 4 hits now in the game for Fisher. That is a ball, delayed run from first. The throw is airmailed into center field, and now at third, after all that, is Torres. Caught Walker napping on that one. It is 1-1 now with a runner at third for Batista. Steal of second, and then the E2 gets him to third. 1-2. Those pitches are on the edge, but they are strikes, and just waiting for your pitch. You might have a little bit of a more, probably afford to be a little more selective. Now, that one gets past the third baseman, La Menza. On his way to second, trying for a hustle double is Batista. He is out, but the run does score, and we go to the top of the fourth with the Falcons on top of the Bengals, 5-2. Advertising opportunities are available on LSP. Sponsor our content for as little as $25 a spot, whether you want to promote a business, product, or event, or send a message of support to a player, team, or coach. Email yours truly for all the deets. Martinez, Stoner, and Kohler due up in the top of the fourth for Fort Kent. And the right fielder Martinez fouls the first one off for strike one. He struck out swinging his first time up in the first of 7 Ks in this game for Yadiel Cuadrado, who goes back to work and gets him to sky this one into right, carrying towards the corner, and that'll bounce off the wall, then over the wall, bounce off the track and then over the wall. That'll be a automatic double for Caleb Martinez. The first hit since Carvalho's single in the first. It's the second hit of the day for the Bengals. Well, the wind that's blown out towards right gets a hold of one really for the first time today. Strike one to Stoner. Struck out swinging his first time up to end the first. Swing and a miss on a pitch up and away, and it is 0-2. The 7 Ks for Cuadrado are a new season high for him. His career high is 10. Oh, wait, hang on. We got a baseball thrown back into the field of play by a passerby behind the field. Never want that to happen in the middle of a play, obviously. Runner goes to third. This is grounded to short. On to first for the out. To third goes Martinez on the G6 off the bat of Stoner. So runner 90 feet away for the Bengals with one down. Kohler struck out swinging to begin the second. I'm having flashbacks to that one game eons ago at Maplewood, Blue Sox Chiefs game. We had a guy riding his bike on the warning track in the middle of a game. Fouled off the other way. What about those times when the Watertown Reds were still in the ICL and there would be like soccer practices, like there's no wall for baseball at Victory Field. And so you'd have potential fly balls drifting into the soccer practice. Swing and a miss. Kohler down on strikes for the second time. 2 down now. I mean, you can still run into that hazard at other fields in this area at that time of year. Strike one. Amadeo Lomenza takes down in for a ball, 1-1. Lomenza was the fourth of 4 consecutive strikeout victims between the first and second for Cuadrado. Line the other way, and that'll get down and into the corner for a base hit. In to score from third is Martinez. On his way to second and sliding in safely with the second double of the inning is Lomenza, and it is 5-3. Josh Ferranda reached on an error and stole a base his last time up, and with a runner in scoring position, hoping to make this a 1-run game. A 3 spot for the Falcons gave them their first lead of the game in the bottom of the third. Bengals looking to get back into it here in the top of the fourth, and that'll be just high for a ball. 2 doubles in the inning for the Bengals after just 1 hit through the first 3. Down away for a ball. bit of a challenge in the first for Quadrado. Walked the first two batters. Full counts on each of them. Got to a full count with Walker before he flew out to center. Carvalho then singled home the first 2 runs of the game. And settled down 4 consecutive strikeouts. Fernando reached on the error, but then 3 more consecutive strikeouts of Oda, Erb, and Walker. Two and two is the count with 2 out and a runner at second here at the top of the 4th. Lamenza getting his lead off of second. 2-2. Little floater, that'll drop on the infield, and a stumble taken by the second baseman, Torres. Puts runners at the corners and turns the lineup over for Oda. Three hits in the inning now after that's rolled an infield single for Ferrando. And Ota hoping to cash in. Oda watches that one go upstairs for a ball. It is 1-0. Oda struck out looking his last time up after leading off the game with a walk and then scoring on Carvalho's single. Foul tip into Verde's mitt for strike 1. Outfield straight away here, but it feels to me like there's a bit too much room down the right field line given the wind. Runner goes from first, pitches a ball, throw is high, and in to score in the back door is Lamenza. It is 5-4. Two and one is the count. Fly ball into foul territory and out of play for strike 2. Two and two. Runner at second. Outside for ball 3. Scoreboard might be disconnected a little bit, or a significant delay, I would say. Out here on the Fraser Field scoreboard, that is. Grounder to third, on to first, and it's bobbled. Here comes the throw home. Got him to preserve the lead for the Falcons. Heads up play by Salinas. Catches Ferrando with his hand in the cookie jar. And the Falcons preserve their lead halfway home, 5-4. And Dalton Parks not happy with the call, but it stands, and we go to the bottom of the 4th. Falcons still on top, 5-4. The LSP store is open. Get yourself a DVD or digital copy of most past LSP video broadcasts or one of several different designs of stickers, shirts, or other merch, including some stuff with my dog, my late dog now, Tina the Longarina on it, or some words I've probably said on this here YouTube channel over the years. Scan the QR code for the merch and email yours truly for game videos. 3, 4, and 5 due up for the Falcons here in the bottom of the fourth, still barely with the lead intact. Febrier will lead things off to be followed by Salinas and Peralta. Febrier walked his last time up. He's 0 for 1. Swings at the first pitch, fouls it off for strike one. Palazzo back out there for his fourth inning of work. And we were inches away from having a tie game just now. Febrier takes a strike, and it'll be 0-2. Pretty considerable gap in right center. The center fielder playing actually a little bit shallow, too, as there is action in the Fort Kent bullpen at the moment. Kai Pacheco, a sophomore out of Parker, Colorado, getting loose down the right field corner right now for Fort Kent. From 0-2 to 2-2 now for Febrier, to be followed by Salinas and Peralta. Good eye, great patience after falling behind 0-2. Now a full count. Insurance runs a must in this inning for the Falcons. That is an excellent start to the inning. Take a walk any way you can get it. You'd love a 4-pitch one, but to have the pitcher ahead 0-2 and then string together the walk, that much more tax on him. Here's Salinas, who has an RBI double to his credit. Run scored, runner goes, and the ball is bobbled on the transfer by Walker, allowing Febrier to steal. The count will be 0-1, 1-0 rather. To Salinas, he had that RBI double in the first, and then came around to score the tying run, and has maybe the most important defensive, absolutely the most important defensive play in this game. Oh, boy. Tap your head. 1-1. I wish. Febrier dancing off of second and gets back barely safely. Salinas, after Oda had reached at first on that error, had the presence of mind to fire home to catch the runner trying to sneak in the back door. Oh my goodness, Walker completely lost the plot, and the Falcons lead 6-4 now. Febrier scores, base is empty now. 6-4 is your score, 2-1 is the count to Salinas, 2-2 now. A walk, a stolen base, and a wild pitch. And now strikeout. Salinas down swinging for the second time today. And here's Peralta. Peralta last time up grounded into a fielder's choice that ended a bases loaded threat for the Falcons. Home plate umpire telling the Falcons players to stay inside the dugout. We did see them leaking out onto the field earlier when a wild pitch bounced over in their direction. 0-1. So yeah, Peralta grinding that fielder's choice with the bases loaded to end the second. That was the second consecutive time that the Falcons had the bases loaded and got nothing out of it. The runs that they scored in the first came before that the bases loaded situation fully arose. You cash in on with at least one of them on those opportunities. Well, then you're not as much on the edge of your seat this game if you're a Falcons fan, and you don't have to really sweat out that Salinas play at the end of the top half of this inning. Goes foul. Still 1-2 to Peralta. He is 1 for 2. RBI single his first time up, and then the aforementioned fielder's choice. High for a ball, and Palazzo's starting to grunt a little bit more with these pitches. You have to wonder if maybe he's starting to run on fumes. Not there. Two down. As the fourth strikeout of the game for Palazzo. Cancel has been plunked twice today. 0-1. Something tells me Palazzo's going to empty the bucket here. Down and in for a ball. Nearly came in and got him again for the Hattie. It is 2-1. There's the hat trick. Speaking it into existence since 1987. I know, I am an old. To be clear, that's the year I was born, not the year I started doing this. Here's Feliz, hit by a pitch in the first. Reached on fielder's choice, stole second, and scored in the third. That is outside for a ball with similar move that Walker used to steal a strike earlier. That's the one thing that about this game that, you know, is a skill that coaches and scouts look for, but maybe no longer. That's on the inside corner for a strike. One hop throw to second, not in time, stolen base for Cancel. Has the framing ability. Now, granted, like all replay challenges, you don't have unlimited challenges at your disposal for ABS. You only have one of them a game as a pitcher, a batter, or a catcher. And great base running read by Cancel. Allows him to get to third on that one. And then if you're wrong, you lose it, and then you are at the mercy of the catcher's framing ability. Little flare into center field, and that will be bobbled in center field by Erb, and that'll allow Cancel to score. That'll be an error on Erb. No RBI because it was an error with 2 outs, right? That was a hit? AP is the official scorer. We'll default to him. And we do have a pitching change coming to you from Fraser Field in Lynn, Mass. That will, in fact, be a hit then. An RBI for Feliz, and Cancel scores 7-4. And the new noodle for the Fort Kent Bengals is Kai Pacheco. Are you down with the sound called LSP? Of course you are. Then follow and support us on the web, Linktree, Facebook, YouTube. Don't forget to subscribe. Flash your subscribe button. Membership's also available for $5 a month. PayPal, Creator Spring, LSP37. Scan the QR code for more info. It's the right thing to do. Book is closed on Vinny Palazzo. Pacheco takes over. And his first assignment will be Adriel Cuello here in the bottom of the fourth with 2 down. A 7-4 lead for the Falcons. That bounces at the plate, but Walker able to keep it in front of him for ball 1. Cuello is 0 for 1, struck out swinging to end the first, walked and scored in the third. 4 runs on 4 hits and 4 errors for Fort Kent. 7-5-2 for the Falcons, and that is up and away, 2-0. Get to the line on Palazzo in just a moment. Do that after this inning since he's still responsible for Feliz on first. That'll be popped up, foul, and out of play for strike 1. 2-1 is the count to Cuello. I didn't see anyone warming behind Cuadrado. I have to imagine that he's not going to go any further than the 5th. Runner goes, pitches a strike, and the throw is held on to by Walker. So a stolen base for Feliz, second of the day for him. The count is 2-2. 2 down. Runner at second in a 7-4 ball game. Here's the pitch. Down and away, and no advance this time by Feliz, and the count will fill. 3-2 to Cuello with Verde due up next. Payoff pitch. Here it is. Fouled into the screen. Another payoff upcoming. Here it is. Lined and caught at second by Oda for the out. That retires the side. Right on the screws, but right at the second baseman. And we go to the top of the 5th, 7-4, Fisher. LSP and Shipping Shield are partners in cards. Shipping Shields are the eco-friendly sports and gaming card shipping protectors trusted by yours truly. Made in the U.S. and Canada on 100% recyclable cardboard. Use the link and codes on the screen or in the description for a discount on your order. We may receive a commission from those orders, but we thank you for your continued support of as always, whatever this is. As we go to the top of the fifth, and Quadrado back out there. Palazzo's line, well, the line for Fort Kent maybe 4 is across. It was somewhat similar for Palazzo once you get to a certain point. 3 2/3 innings, 7 runs, 5 hits, 4 walks, 4 hit batsmen, 4 wild pitches, and 4 strikeouts. First pitch of the top of the fifth is lined and bobbled in and out of the glove of the right fielder Batista to allow Brandon Erb to reach. It's a hit. Erb reaches. Well, at that point, the wind's kind of blowing to left, so that messes up the trajectory of the ball coming towards Batista. This will roll just foul as it's touched by Verde for strike 1 to Seth Walker. Walker trying to get off the schneid here. He is 0 for 2 with a fly out to center and a strikeout looking. Eight strikeouts in the game for Quadrado, but only 1 since the second out of the third, which happened to be Walker. He grounds this one to the left side, fielded at third, on to second for 1, and that is all they'll get. And Torres, we need to check that ankle a little bit. It's a little, just making sure he's still on 2 feet there. Absolutely not a bad slide there by Erb, just an awkward one that I think Erb was just cautious of just not wanting to interfere with a potential throw, and then just bumped in a little bit too close for comfort, but no hard feelings at all from anyone involved, and there will be 1 out now as Walker reaches on the fielder's choice, and that'll be strike 1 to Carvalho. Carvalho with the 2-run single back in the first, then grounded out to second to end the third. So Walker now 0 for 3, but on base for the first time as Carvalho comes up empty on that one for strike number 2. A 7-4 ball game in favor of the Falcons in the top of the fifth. 2 7-inning games today. Second game of the doubleheader is scheduled for a 3 p.m. start, but we'll basically get started like half an hour after this one ends. 1 and 2 as that one is a bit of an ankle biter for Carvalho. Caleb Martinez due up next. 1 and 2 with 1 out and a runner at first. That would be Seth Walker. Bouncing off of first. Come and get me, he says, and Quadrado obliges, but not nearly in time. Grounder to second. To the shortstop for one. It's bobbled on the transfer. Everybody's safe. A drop by Fabrier on an otherwise routine flip to him. The third error of the day. On Fisher. So that will actually bring the tying run to the plate in the person of Martinez. So the second bid at a double play this inning for the Falcons goes for naught. First one, Falcons did not even try to throw out Walker. They just took the force of Herb. But this one, they would have had Walker easily if it was not bobbled by Fabrier. 0-2 is the count to Martinez, who doubled and scored his last time up. Curveball in there for strike three called. Second time Martinez has been down by way of the K in the ninth strikeout of the game. For Cuadrado, he is one away from matching his career high. Bradley Stoner will try to keep the line moving with now 2 down in the inning. Swing and a miss, strike one. Stoner struck out swinging to end the first, grounded out to short in the fourth. Outside corner, strike two. Action starting to loosen in the Fisher bullpen. 0-2, check swing, appeal, no, it is ball one. With Walker at second and Carvalho at first. Cuadrado 1 strike away from matching his career high for Ks in a game. 2-2. Stoner represents the tying run for Fort Kent. With Kohler due up next. Oof. Nice looking bender, but down and away, full count. And with runners at first and second, gentlemen, start your engines. Payoff pitch. Here it is. Got him! 10 strikeouts on the day for Yadiel Cuadrado, matching a career high. And we go to the bottom of the fifth. Still 7-4 Falcons. Advertising opportunities are available on LSP. Sponsor our content for as little as $25 a spot, whether you want to promote a business, product, or event, or send a message of support to a player, team, coach, or pitcher who just matched a career high for strikeouts. Email yours truly for all the deets. Verde, Torres, and Batista due up here in the bottom of the fifth for the Fisher Falcons. One and 0 is the count to Verde. 0 for 2, reach on air in the second, and grounded out to second in the third. Pacheco back out there, and he's behind 2-0. Back-to-back strikeouts to get out of that jam for Yadiel Cuadrado. He's now got 10 Ks through 5 innings, which matches his career high, and a floater the other way into right for a base hit for the first hit of the day for the number 9 hitter, number 9, Verde. Out comes Colon as the courtesy runner. Colon stole second last time Verde was on base, but was stranded at third in that bottom of the second where the Falcons loaded the bases with one out, but came up empty. Lineup turns over for Torres. He's been on base all 3 times, 2 for 3, a couple of singles and an error. Then he reached on in between those singles, scored a run in the third, actually plated a run in that inning as well, brought home Cuello with a base hit. Runner goes, pitches down low, throw is offline, goes into right center field, and now taking off for third is Colon, and the throw just come back into second. So a stolen base in the E2 allow Colon to get to third base. Another error. That was the 5th of the day for the Bengals. And 1-0 is the count to Torres. Infield comes in here. It's still only a 3-run game. So Bengals still in this one. They only have 6 offensive outs to play with, though. And with the action revving up a bit more in the Fisher bullpen, I have to imagine Cuadrado's day is done at this point. That is down and in for a ball. It is 2-1. Fouled off the other way. It'll be 2-2. Can't get a good enough look at who's warming right now for Fisher, but there is a righty warming. So that is upstairs for a ball. Walker thought about firing to third, but held on to it as Colon got back. Full count, and the pitch on the outside corner for strike 3 called. Big first out there for Pacheco. 1 down. Torres now 2 for 4, and here's Batista. 1 for 2, walk, stolen base and run score in the first, fly out to right in the second, and RBI single in the third. Takes down in for a ball, no advance by Colon at third. Fouled off. Randy Espinal is the righty warming in the bullpen for the Fisher Falcons. Batista has a 1-1 count with a runner at third and 1 down here. And Pacheco delivers. Fouled off the other way, and it is 1-2. It was Palazzo for the first 3 2/3 for Fort Kent. Allowed 7 runs on 5 hits, 4 walks, 4 hit batsmen, 4 wild pitches, and struck out 4. Pacheco got the only man he had to face in the bottom of the 4th, a line out off the bat of Cuello. Up and in, throw down to third is not in time, but able to keep it close is Lamenza, so the count will be 2-2. Infield's still in here with one out. Chopper will go foul. Well, that's why you stand in foul ground if you're a runner on third. If it hits you, it's just a dead ball. If that hits you, if you're in fair territory, you, good sir, are out. No play could have been made anyways when Cologne barehanded that one. Dancing off of third, and the 2-2. Inside corner on the curveball, strike three called. 2 down now. Back-to-back, backwards Ks for Pacheco. And it'll be up to Febrier to cash in on the leadoff single by Verde with Cologne at third now. Infield back to normal depth, and that'll be down and away, gets away from Walker, and in to score standing up on another wild pitch is Cologne. It is 8-4 with a 1-0 count. The base is empty. The pitch to Moises fouls that one off the other way. It is 1-1. Febrier is 0 for 1, grounded out to second in the first, walked in the second, and walked and stole a base and scored in the fourth, and now he's behind 1-2. In the top of the sixth, Fort Kent will have the bottom third of the order due up. Kohler, Lamenza, and Ferrando. And that is a swing and a miss. Pacheco strikes out the side here in the bottom of the fifth, but does allow the leadoff spot in this inning anyways. Verde singling, and then Cologne the rest of the way to score and allow the Falcons to take an 8-4 lead into the sixth. The LSP store is open. Get yourself a DVD or digital copy of most past LSP video broadcasts or one of several different designs of stickers, shirts, or other merch, including some stuff with my late dog Tina the Long Arena on it, and some words I've probably said on this here YouTube channel over the years. Scan the QR code for merch or email yours truly for game videos. Randy Espinal, the righty out of Lawrence, Mass, sophomore, takes over on the bump for the Falcons after 5 innings by Yadiel Cuadrado, in line for the win with a career-high tying 10 Ks in those 5 innings, allowing 4 runs on 5 hits. Espinal is making his 4th appearance of the season. Last pitch on March 11th against Fort Lauderdale. Did not get a decision, went 3 innings, allowed 5 hits and 5 runs, 4 of which are earned, walked 1, struck out 1, surrendered 1 home run. Kohler to lead things off here in the top of the 6th. Grounder to short. Scoop there. On to first. One pitch, one out. Reasonable start to the afternoon for Mr. Espinal. I'm sure Kohler is glad to at least have put that one in play after striking out his first 2 times. Here's Lamenza. RBI double and run scored his last time up in the 4th. Up and in for a ball is 1-0. This is Espinal's 9th career appearance. He is 0-1 in his career with a 14.54 ERA and a 2.88 whip. Foul that one off. One and one is the count with one down here in the top of the 6th. There is more action behind Espinal in the bullpen for the Falcons. Here it comes. Old chopper at the dish, but that will be foul, and the count will be 1-2. Espinal made only 1 appearance last year and allowed 3 runs without recording an out. Swing and a miss, strike 3. 2 up, 2 down. We'll see if Josh Ferrando can keep the line moving. Reach on air in the 2nd. RBI single in the 4th. That play to Lamenza is the most recent Bengals run. It's down away for ball 1. In the bottom of the 6th, the Falcons will have Salinas, Peralta, and Cancel due up. Espinal misses upstairs. 2-0 is the count. 3-0. The leadoff man, Oda, due up next. That's in there for a strike. What's impressive about Cuadrado's start today is that, he had that overtaxing pitch count in the first inning where he went to a full count with the first 4 or 5 batters, something along those lines of the game. Here's a grounder to third, easy peasy 1-2-3-Z for Randy Espinal. And Cuadrado did not allow a walk the rest of the way after he walked the second batter, the first 2 batters of the game, Oda and Herb. And now 1-2-3 inning for Espinal, and 3 outs away from a dub are the Falcons. But first, another trip to the plate in the bottom of the 6th. Are you down with the sound called LSP? Of course you are. Then follow and support us on the web, Linktree, Facebook, YouTube. Don't forget to subscribe. Flashy subscribe button. Membership's also available for $5 a month. PayPal, Creator Spring, LSP37. Scan that QR code for more info. It tastes great on a cracker. We go to the bottom of the sixth, and it's the middle third of the order due up for the Falcons as they look maybe a little more insurance here. Up 8-4 on the UMaine Fort Kent Bengals. It'll be Salinas, Peralta, and Cancel due up. Salinas is 1 for 3, RBI double and runs scored in the first, and then 2 strikeouts in his last 2 appearances, in the second and fourth. Salinas also has the most important defensive play of this game. He's talking in the top half of this inning as he comes up empty for strike one about Lamenza and Ferrando with RBIs to cut what was then a 5-2 Fisher lead down to 5-4. As he gets a hold of this one, but that will land foul over towards the Fisher bullpen where Carmona is warming. It'll be 0-2. Ferrando had that base hit to plate Lamenza. And then Oda grounded into what should have been a easy play to end the inning, but the ball bounced out of Salinas' glove. He needs to wash something out of his eye. Ferrando, just before that, had stolen second, and after the error, Ferrando tried to sneak in the back door to score the tying run, what would have been the tying run. Salinas fired home as he comes up empty for his third strikeout of the day. 1 up, 1 down. Salinas fired home. They got Ferrando. That preserved the lead for the Falcons at 5-4. And since then, 2 in the fourth and 1 in the fifth to make the lead a little more comfortable. He scored the tying run, did Salinas, and then had the biggest defensive play of the game. Here's Peralta, taken away for ball 1. 1-1 to the Falcons' third baseman, who is 1 for 3. He had the single that brought home Salinas for the tying run back in the first, tied at 2. Then ground into a fielder's choice with the bases loaded to end the second, and then struck out swinging in the fourth. He was the last out that Palazzo got. Foul this one off. And it's been Kai Pacheco since, and Pacheco has gotten each of his last 4 batters by way of the K. He got Cuello to line out to end the fourth, and the only batter he faced there. Verde reached to lead off the bottom of the fifth on a single. Then Colon took over and scored on a wild pitch. This is a drive deep into center field. That'll keep going all the way to the wall. Peralta has extra bases, and he's going to hold up with a double. Peralta's now 2 for 4. And a runner in scoring position, snapping a 4 consecutive strikeout streak for Pacheco. And here's Cancel. Does he have quads on the brain? He's been hit by a pitch 3 times in 3 plate appearances today. He gets on base. Well, if he was standing in the right-handed batter's box, 1-0. I'm sure he'd like something more than a plunking here. I'm sure he'd love a base hit. 1-1. Double by Peralta. It's just the second extra base hit of the day for the Falcons. The first in Salinas' double. Nearly came in and got him, but catches the inside corner instead. And it is strike 2. This will put the ball in play. Grounder to short. Good job by Peralta dodging the ball. If you can dodge a ball, you can dodge a ball, right? That how it goes? 2 down as Cancel grounds out. Here's Feliz. He's been on base all 3 times today. Hit by a pitch in the first, reached on a fielder's choice in the third, ended up scoring after reaching on the fielder's choice, and then singled home a run in the fourth. He was the last batter for Palazzo, chased him with that RBI single. In the top of the 7th, it'll be the top third of the order due up for the Falcons. And Oda, Urban, Walker grounded to the right side and through for a base hit. In from third comes Peralta to make it 9-4. Second hit of the day and second ribby of the day for Angel Feliz. And Cuello hoping to reach base for the second time. A walk and a run scored. Sandwich between a strikeout and a line out to second. Comes up empty there for strike one. He is facing Cuello for the second time today. Cuello rather facing Pacheco for the second time today. First batter that Pacheco faced got him a line out to second to end the fourth. It was Palazzo for the first 3 2/3, and it's been Pacheco since for UMFK, and that'll be on the outside edge for strike 2. 9-4 is our score after the man on first, Feliz, picked up his second hit and second ribby of the game, plating Peralta to extend the lead to the score you see now. 0-2, though, is the count to Cuello, hoping to get on base for the second time, and the only time he has. A walk and then a run scored back in the third. The first of the second, rather, of 3 runs the Falcons scored in the third to make it 5-2. Runner goes, pitches outside, throw 1, hops to second, and a stolen base for Feliz. Second steal of the game for Angel. 1-2 is now the count to Cuello. Verde due up next if Cuello can keep the line moving. Everything all right? Got a couple players trying to work out the kinks here. Pacheco on the mound. Feliz at second. Those tire pellets can really chap you. One and two. Pacheco accepts the sign, comes set. And here it is. Swing and a miss, strike 3. 5th strikeout in 2 2/3 for Kai Pacheco. But we go to the top of the 7th. Closing time for the Falcons, up 9-4. LSP and Shipping Shields are partners in card. Shipping Shields are the eco-friendly sports and gaming card shipping protectors trusted by yours truly. Made in the U.S. and Canada on 100% recyclable cardboard. Use the link and codes on the screen or in the description for a discount on your order. We may receive a commission from your order, but we thank you for your continued support of whatever this is. new pitcher for the Fisher Falcons will be the right-hander Armando Murillo out of Pembroke Pines, Florida, Everglades High, sophomore, being his 4th appearance of the year. He has no decisions, a 16.88 ERA in 2 2/3 innings, and 1 strikeout to his name. And he's got a new catcher to throw to as well. Murillo last pitched on March 11th against Fort Lauderdale, an inning and 2/3. 1 hit, 1 run, 1 walk, 1 hit, and 1 run on a single solo home run. His new battery mate is Angel Castillo, sophomore out of Lawrence High. Here's a grounder to third. 1 up, 1 down here in the top of the 7th as Ota is retired with ease. So Ota is now 0 for 3. Walked and scored in the first, but since then, strikeout. The error that eventually led to Ferrando getting cut down, trying to score the tying run. Now this ground out to second. It'll be ball 1 here to Brandon Erb, who is 1 for 2. Walked and scored in the first, struck out swinging in the third, and singled in the 5th. Chops this one to first. Knocked down at first by Salinas, and late break to the bag by Murillo allows Erb to reach. Error allows Erb to reach, and now here is Seth Walker. 0 for 3, flew out to center in the first, struck out looking in the third. Reach on a fielder's choice in the 5th. That one goes to the backstop. Erb on his way to second. So ball 1 on the wild pitch takes a potential game-ending double play out of the equation. Fifth inning was the last inning of work for the Fisher starter, Yadiel Cuadrado. Allowed Erb and Walker to reach the single and the fielder's choice, and then Carvalho on a fielder's choice. There was actually an error that got Walker to second on Carvalho's fielder's choice. It was first and second with 1 out. And then he got Martinez and Stoner back-to-back for his 9th and 10th strikeouts of the day to match his career high. But right now, 2-0 hitters count to Walker, and he watches that one go, and it is 3-0. Now, the tying run for Fort Kent is still in the dugout. Like, it's not even in the hole right now, but it would be if Walker reaches here. That'll be a strike, and it'll be 3-1. Boy, you see such a routine ground out to begin the inning, and you think, oh, well, he's going to breeze through this inning, and good game, everyone, but not so fast, my friend. Chopper to the left side to third, on to first. Well, there's a routine grounder anyways. 2 down, putting Erb at third, and the last hope for the Bengals will be the left fielder, Carvalho. Carvalho with the 2-run single back in the first, then grounded out to second in the third, and reached on the fielder's choice in the 5th. He is 1 for 3. Takes outside for ball 1. Fisher looking to go to 5-11, and Fort Kent looking 2-11 in the face, with game 2 of this doubleheader slated for about half an hour after the conclusion of this one. Ooh, just inside, try to front door him, and it is 2-0. And then one more game tomorrow between these two teams, weather and authorities permitting, looking at the forecast. Again, was going to be 2 doubleheaders this weekend, but the second game of tomorrow's doubleheader got pushed back due to travel concerns for Fort Kent, as is now 3-0. Herb at third, a 3-0 count to Carvalho, with Caleb Martinez due up next if Carvalho can reach. If he can't, this game is over. Top of the zone, 4 strike 1. Was Cuadrado for 5, Espinal for 1. He did not allow a run or a hit or a walk. Struck out 1, and now Murillo trying to close this one out. Gets the outside edge, strike 2. Last call for the Bengals in game 1 of this doubleheader. With the wind now blowing in. Payoff pitch. Here it is. Outside for ball 4. More baseball. That is the first walk drawn by the Bengals since Herb's walk as the second batter of the game. Here's Martinez, who has 2 strikeouts sandwiched around a double and a run scored in the 4th. He is behind 0-1. Eleven strikeouts today in 6 2/3 innings by Fisher pitching. That just missed, says Bob Bland, and it is 1-1. Oh yeah, light body. Got to swap around. They're gonna swap for next game, right? Bland's my boy, as you said earlier. I'm clearly no longer light body's boy, even if I was before. Swing and a miss. And once again, last call for the Bengals. Herb at third, Carvalho at first. 1-2, here it is. 2-2, just missed down. Murillo comes set. 2-2. Fouled off into the bleachers. Oh, ricocheted off one of the aluminum benches and then nearly got a gentleman sitting right behind the Fort Kent dugout in the back of his noggin. Everyone's all right, though. 2-2. Once again, here it is. High for ball 3. Well, Carvalho will be off from first with this pitch, with Stoner due up next. Here it is. Popped up into foul ground on the right side, but that will get out of play. And we'll do it again at 3-2. Stoner's in the on-deck circle. If Carvalho reaches, if Martinez reaches, you'd put the tying run in the on-deck circle. 3-2. Just get your ender here. Just worry about the batter. Payoff once again. Here it is. Down away, ball 4. We continue. The bases are chucked. For Stoner, who is looking to get off the schneid, 0 for 3, a strikeout in the first, a ground out to short in the 4th, and a strikeout in the 5th. In fact, the last strikeout for Quadrado. Swing and a miss for strike 1. Well, we've seen, we saw in the last at-bat that started well enough for Murillo against Martinez. He had 1-2. 0-2 here against Stoner, but could not put him away. Murillo has 2 walks on the last 2 batters, which are the first 2 walks since the first 2 batters of the game. For Fort Kent, 0-2, here it is. Had him all the way. Falcons win. A dozen strikeouts for Fisher pitching in game 1, including a career-high tying 10 for Yadiel Quadrado in 5 innings of work. 9 runs on 8 hits, 4 errors for the Falcons, 4 runs on 5 hits and 5 errors for the Bengals. Offensively, Daniel Peralta 2 for 4, runs scored. Angel Feliz 2 for 3 with a couple of ribbies. And can't forget Kevin Cancel with the hat trick of hit by pitch, including a stolen base and a run scored after the 3rd one. Falcons win, they go to 5-11. The Bengals lose, they go to 2-11. And we're going to take a timeout. You can check out Game 2 on a separate stream here on this here YouTube channel in about 30 minutes' time. But until then, with that said, there's been a presentation of LSP, something for everyone, for 15 years, if you can believe it at this point. Copyright 2026, unauthorized redistribution of any portion of this broadcast without the express written permission of LSP or Fisher College is strictly prohibited. A reminder that you can support LSP by buying shipping shields using the link and codes on the screen or in the description. Sponsoring future content for as little as $25 a spot. Buying some of this fabulous merchandise from the LSP Spring Store. Or, of course, if you're down with a sound called LSP. Linktree, Facebook, YouTube, PayPal, Creator Spring, LSP37. All the cool kids are doing it. Once again, the final score from Fraser Field in Lynn, Mass. It is the Fisher Falcons 9 and the UMFK Bengals 4. For all my rowdy friends here in Lynn, my name is Sam Feely, reminding you forever and always, freelance isn't free. Thanks for tuning in. Fresh for 2026, suckers. And we'll see you in about half an hour. Love you, Katrina. Party hard, Caitlin. Miss you, Tina.